The opinions expressed are those of the show's host and not the staff or management of Port St. Lucie Broadcasters. Any reproduction without written consent of WSTU and WPSL is strictly prohibited. Now it's time for Quality of Life Radio, brought to you by Cigna. Here are your hosts, Gary Owen and Tom Bouvier.
Hello and good morning on this beautiful, chilly, sunny Tuesday morning. It's already February 2nd, 2021. And guess what? It is Groundhog Day. And we heard that we're going to have another 25 years of winter. So hang tight for all you Northerner friends up there. And this is Gary Owen. I'm your host of the Quality of Life Radio Show. Tom the Bouvier could not be with us again today, but I think he'll be back with us next week. And this show is also sponsored by Cigna Medicare. And Quality of Life is also broadcasting live on WSTU 1450 AM and WPSL 1590 AM. And unfortunately, we're not able to get our Facebook page open to broadcast live on our Facebook page, the Quality of Life Radio Show. But for those of you who are tuning in and you want to see us live in the studio, myself and my guest, you can go to your browser and type in www.wstutv.com. So glad to have you all with us this morning. And we're also glad to have our guests. So the first part of the show, we like to showcase a business owner here on the Treasure Coast. Let them tell you, our listening audience, and those viewers, what they specialize in and how they can help improve your quality of life. And the second part of our show, around 10:30, I will bring to you some information that you need to know, especially with President Biden signing some new things into law that will definitely affect your health care that you need to be aware of. So stay tuned for that. It's called the ACA Open Enrollment. It's called an SEP, or Special Enrollment Period. And we'll also talk about the Medicare Open Enrollment Period as well. So stay tuned to that. And then also two pieces of news that you will find very funny and or interesting. So this morning, we're very happy to have our guest in the studio with us, Maureen Vaillancourt. And she is dressed very, very warm and toasty this morning. You're making me warm, actually, Maureen. So Maureen is with Remax of Stuart. Good morning. How are you?
Good morning, Gary. I am great this morning. I have warmed up.
Yes. I was hoping that our show technician would have the coffee or the cappuccino or espresso waiting for us this morning. But to my chagrin, he failed again. But anyway, Maureen, tell us a little bit about yourself, where you're from, what you do, and so forth.
Well, I'm originally from Buffalo, New York.
Ooh, aren't you glad you're not there?
I am very glad I'm not there. I was watching the news last night and seeing all the storms that were hitting the New York State. Yes. And I lived after I left, I lived in Jamestown, New York, which was even more snow. And then I came down here to Boca first. And then I moved up to Stuart, or to Palm City, in 2003, and have been very happy to have found paradise.
So I can tell you miss the 2-3 feet of snow.
Oh,
that's happening.
Yes, absolutely. I say that I only want to see snow on Christmas cards and on the TV.
Yeah, it looks very nice on the TV.
Yes. But what I have done for 35 years is sell real estate. I started out in Jamestown, and then I continued when I came to Florida. And my motto is, I love to sell houses.
Yes. Maureen is in our local networking group called the Executive Club of Martin County. I happen to be the vice president of that club. And it's good to have some great professionals. And by the way, Maureen, I guess this will be a plug for our chapter. For this, there's some categories that are open in our chapter at the Executive Club of Martin County. We meet every Wednesday morning at 7:30 in the morning. So if you're a business owner and you'd like to have referrals and so forth and work with a local networking group, it's been around for a very long time, let me know. you can contact myself at my office at Owen Insurance Group, 772-210-1020. And again, it's a good opportunity to have breakfast and meet with other like-minded professionals and who can help grow your business.
Gary, we're having a social. Maybe we should invite them to the social.
Yes.
March 4th, it's 5:30 to 7:30. There is going to be a social at the Elliott Museum. That way you could meet the members of our group and consider joining.
That's a very good idea. So it's an open, actually, you should probably RSVP. So if you are interested in joining us and attending the social, again, contact myself at Owen Insurance Group, Gary Owen, 772-210-1020. And a good opportunity, a good plug for business owners out there who are looking to grow and expand their business. So, Maureen, how long have you been with RE/MAX?
I actually joined RE/MAX in 2004. We first came up here, bought a home, had to do some remodeling, so I was still working out of Boca. But I joined RE/MAX in March 1st, 2004. So it's 17 years?
And
it will be 17 years.
That's a long time. That's a phenomenal. So you know the Treasure Coast very well.
I feel I do. Yes.
Yeah. And what do you specialize in?
Houses, condos.
So are you a buyer's agent?
I am both.
Okay.
I am both. I do both. I am a transactional broker. So when I do a listing, we represent the deal, basically, not the person. We owe honesty and fairness and everything to whoever our client is, but we that way we can do buyer and seller together in a deal.
That's pretty cool. It's very interesting. What was I'm kind of curious. What was your largest deal, and what was your smallest?
Well, my smallest deal was back in, got to be probably 1986, up in Jamestown, New York. I sold a 2-family for $19,000.
What year was this?
It would be 1986.
Wow.
Yeah. Again, Western New York does not have the prices that Florida has.
Yes.
Yeah. And, but that was
amazing.
It was something. My largest deal, I just closed on a home this past May in Sewell's Point.
Oh, yes.
And it was 2.2. And was a gorgeous house. Absolutely gorgeous house.
Very nice. Good. Congratulations on that one again, too. That was a nice one for you. So tell us a little bit about what's going on, in the housing industry. I mean, my God, we see craziness happening in specifically here on the Treasure Coast. I'm sure it's happening all throughout Florida. I'm not sure about the country, but what's going on with the real estate market? It's like a seller's market. It's crazy.
Well, I think COVID has actually helped our business, which is really quite surprising. But I believe with people being cooped up in their homes, they've started reevaluating their living situations, and they have wanted to get larger situations, larger, because they're working from home. They need the space. The kids have been going to school from home, so they are looking for larger homes. Also, we're seeing a large influx from the north. In fact, I was sent a very funny text the other day. It is a picture of Andrew Cuomo, and it says at the top, Florida Realtor of the Year. I loved it. I thought it was really funny, but it speaks the truth, because we are getting a lot of people from the north, not just New York, from all over.
Jersey.
Yeah, Joe, just anywhere in the northern areas, people are realizing if they're going to work from home, they might as well work in comfort.
Sure, absolutely.
And so that is really helping our business a lot. Our problem is we don't have the inventory.
Yes.
We need inventory. It's supply and demand business. And because of low inventory, prices have gone up. And but Martin County is a wonderful place to live. I said I've moved to paradise, and I really believe that. We are a small county. We have excellent schools, which is helped by the fact that we're a small county. They do control the growth. And we have a lot. We've got access to the ocean. We've got access to the rivers. We have the most boating, sailfish capital of the world. We have a lot of things to do 12 months out of the year.
That's a great plug for Martin County. It truly is. And I can tell you, I don't know. I mean, they say they're controlling the growth, but every time I step on or drive on US 1, I don't know if that's true or not.
Well, it's interesting though, Gary. I attended video of a meeting for the Chamber of Commerce last week. It was the local government business development group, and one of the men from the city of Stuart spoke, and he was talking about the growth, because a lot of it is the city of Stuart. A lot of the building you're seeing of the apartments that are going up.
Right.
Well, we need this. It's now called workforce housing. Yes, workforce housing, and that's what we're getting is new housing, new rental apartments, which will change the apartment situation. Now, apartment rents are quite high and not necessarily affordable for everybody. So with more influx into the location area, we're going, again, supply and demand, we will see prices perhaps change somewhat so that more people can afford them, because it's better to have our workforce living close to where they work rather than having to go far away. I mean, it's good for the environment as well as for the people.
Do you personally think the valuation of the homes today are artificially inflated? I mean, what's your opinion on that?
I can't really tell you that. All I can say is the market is decided by the people. It's what they're willing to pay, what the bank is willing to loan them. Inflated, you can't. I don't know how you can judge that.
Is Martin County unique in what's going on, or is it happening throughout all the Treasure Coast, throughout all Florida and the country, or do you know that?
I can't say specifically, but I suspect they are saying over 1,000 people a day are coming to Florida.
That's right.
So I believe that we aren't the only area in Florida that is having the situation where we have low supply and high demand.
I think after the snowstorms are over up north, we'll see 2,000 people a day.
Could be. They haven't had snow like this in a while.
Oh,
what did they say? They had 4 feet in New York last year, and they had 4. The announcer on TV said they had 4 feet in 2 hours.
That's amazing. These poor people up there. I couldn't even imagine. And also, we're seeing a lot of influx of South Florida residents moving into our area as well. And it's weird. It seems like people are choosing, everyone wants to live in Martin County, like you said.
Because of the schools, because of the quality of life. I mean, those are very, very wonderful things. And when you think about our area, think about our downtown, and then think about the rest of South Florida. They don't really have a real downtown like we do.
That's right.
I love to take people on a tour and take them down there.
Oh, man. Everybody who comes to Florida, down to Stuart, and they see our beautiful downtown, it's so charming. It's just the most beautiful area in all Florida. So I agree with you.
And our area has done a very good job, I would say, of keeping some of the history, because we have a lot of history in Martin County, and they do show it off so that people can understand it, where we've come from, which is nice. I love history, and I like to
absolutely
see that it's preserved.
Absolutely. I agree.
Another home I sold this past year.
We're going to just hold that thought for a second, because I've got some questions for you. We're going to go on our first break, and then we're going to come back and I'll have Maureen finish her thought. And I've got some very specific questions to ask her. You are listening to the one and only Quality of Life radio show on WSTU 1450 AM, WPSL 1590, and we'll be right back. Welcome back to the Quality of Life Radio Show. I'm your host, Gary Owen, with Owen Insurance Group. And Owen Insurance Group is located in Stuart, just north of the Roosevelt Bridge. I'm certain that you know where Key West Diner is. So we're right behind Key West Diner, right next to Beaches MRI. And our guest on our show this morning, in case you're just now tuning in, is Maureen Vaillancourt of RE/MAX and Stuart. We're glad to have her with us. And Maureen, you were saying something when we so rudely interrupted you going on break.
That's all right, Gary. We were talking about the history of our area and how wonderful they have preserved a lot of the history of our area.
They sure did.
And a home that I did was lucky enough to sell this year was built in 1925. And the owners had presently owned, or that sold it, but had owned it for a few years. And the people before them had preserved that home. It had the same beautiful floors that were original.
Wow.
I understand the home was built as a worker's home. There used to be a hotel, and I don't quite remember the name of the hotel. This is in old St. Lucie area there, and there was a hotel there, and they built a lot of houses for the workers. This was one of the original
I read
homes.
about that recently.
And it was beautiful. In the backyard was a tropical paradise. It was just a gorgeous home. We had many people that wanted to buy it.
That's pretty cool.
But that shows that the history can be preserved, still be made possible to be used for modern times,
Yes.
but preserved so that we can appreciate it. Yeah.
100%. So I'd like to ask you a very important question. I'm sure that this question is on the minds of our listeners and those who are watching us this morning. So we know that there's a plethora of licensed realtors out there and real estate agents. How do you choose the right one? And what separates you, Maureen, from your competitors? And what separates and what is the distinction of RE/MAX of Stuart?
Well, I think I believe I already told you that I've been in the business 35 years. And that is really what you find in RE/MAX is that you're going to be dealing with an experienced realtor, somebody that's been in the business for a while, because we pay our own expenses. So therefore, you have got to have a following and be selling in order to pay your bills. And I think experience is important. I can't say that I know everything, but what I do know is that I have 40 other agents in my office that if I have a question, I can go to them and get some answers.
Mm-hmm.
I know the places to go. What makes RE/MAX different? We are very independent. We are experienced. We are independent. We do deal with most of our commissions because we pay for our own costs. But that inspires us to keep working with people. What makes me different? I guess as I've said, I love to sell houses, and I mean that. I have been in a long time. I certainly could retire, but I'm not interested in retiring because I'm having a lot of fun, and I enjoy meeting people. Everybody has a story, and I like to hear their stories.
Yeah, you do have a lot of fun. I see that. And it's awesome to see that. What would you do anyway when you retire? I mean, come on, think about it.
I can still play bridge and mahjong and all those things anyway. So
that's correct. So, there's a lot of people probably out there thinking, yeah, you know what? I want to buy a home. What would be your advice to those people out there listening to us and watching us this morning? What would be your advice to them and what to look out for and so forth?
Well, my advice first off is call my phone number, 772-341-8690. That is Maureen Vaillancourt. Or my email is rmv1998@bellsouth.net. I would be very glad to help you because what I do with people is I find out what they're interested in, what specifically they're interested in, and then I put them on something called an alert, which alerts them as soon as a house or a condo goes on the market that has the specifics that they're looking for. And they get that immediately. Because if you just go to some of the other websites, the public websites, some of those units that are on there or homes that are on there are already under contract. Now, that connects you to our MLS system, what I do. And that way you get the immediate information. And it's important in a seller's market like this, where inventory is getting sometimes 5 times 5 offers or more, it's important for you to know immediately when something's available. One of my buyers bought a home 3 weeks ago. It had 9 offers on it. So everything is happening fast if it's priced right. You know, it is it's a seller's market, but there's plenty of things out there for buyers. But the important thing is to get the right information and to get it quickly.
I tell you, my piece of advice would be, if you find a home that you really like, do not haggle over the price.
No, my customer that get that home actually put in an offer at $10,000 over the asking price.
And you know, and that happens, and I know people that have done that and still lost the home.
Oh, absolutely.
It's amazing what's happening.
Yeah. And it isn't just here. I have a son that lives in Seattle, and he has lost homes where people have bid $100,000 over asking price, which is amazing to me.
I can't even fathom that.
No, I can't either.
$100,000 over asking.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Markets are different in every area.
That's absolutely insane.
So we should appreciate our area because ours is much more affordable.
So 10,000 over asking is not quite as bad then compared to $100,000. Maureen, would you let everybody know how to reach you again, please? Because maybe now they've got a chance to grab a pen and a paper and copy your phone number and your email address.
Maureen Valancourt, 772-341-8690. Email is rmv1998@bellsouth.net. One of the best ways to get me, if you can't get me on the phone, is to text me.
And by the way, I'll give her a plug because she is certainly passionate about what she does. I've known Maureen a very long time. She has fun. She loves people. She loves working with people. And she's a true professional and certainly is a mainstay here in Martin County. So we appreciate having her on the show this morning. And Maureen, we are going to transition to some news that's happening around the state of Florida and maybe around the world. We got every show I host, I always find 2 pieces of news that I find interesting to share with our audience. And so we'll probably have you come back on here in just a second and to interact with us. And I'll probably ask you some important questions too. So the first news story is the sheriff in Jacksonville reports a naked man stole. I don't know what is with all these naked people here in the news recently. I mean, it is interesting. A naked Florida man stole and crashed a police cruiser. So a naked Florida man got away with a marked police vehicle and crashed it into a wooded area, officials said. Joshua Schenker, 23, was arrested after the crash on charges including theft of a motor vehicle, aggravated battery while in the nude on a law enforcement officer, depriving an officer of means of communication or protection, and resisting an officer without violence. All in the nude. Very interesting. And this was according to a Jacksonville Sheriff's Office report. Officers responded to reports of a naked man running along Interstate 10 in western Jacksonville shortly before noon on Thursday. Last Thursday. Schenker was lying in the roadway when an officer stopped on the opposite side of the road. Schenker then ran across the highway lanes toward the officer, officials said, and according to the police report, did about $10,000 worth of damage to the police cruiser. Officers noted that Schenker had road rash after the crash. Can you imagine where that might have been? And he was taken to a hospital to be checked out and is being held on a $4,000 bail. So I love crazy people because they keep me chuckling throughout the day. And then this one is across the pond. Cafe Croissant were worms. EU agency says that worms are safe to eat, Maureen. So in case you get hungry, you might want to check that. Don't gag on me yet. This is from Rome. The vaunted Mediterranean diet and French gastronomy are getting some competition. The European Union's Food Safety Agency says worms are safe to eat. Yummy. The Parma-based agency published a scientific opinion Wednesday on the safety of dried yellow mealworms. Mealworms. Great for meal. And gave them a thumbs up. Researchers said the worms, either eaten whole or in powdered form, are a protein-rich snack or ingredient for other foods. Evans over there wetting his lips. He's so anxious to have worms. Allergic reactions may occur, especially depending on the type of feed given to the bugs, known officially as Tenebrio molitor larva. But overall, the panel concludes that the novel food is safe under the proposed uses and use levels. Thus, the EU has now thrown its weight behind worms in much the same way that the United Nations has. The UN's Food and Agriculture Organization in 2013 championed edible bugs as a low-fat, high-protein food for people, pets, and livestock that are good for the environment and help feed the hungry. So there you go, Maureen. If you ever get hungry, order yourself a bag of mealworms, and that will satisfy the cravings. What do you think about that?
Yuck.
What do you think about the naked man stealing a patrol car?
Crazy.
I love those one-word responses. It's pretty good. So I'd like to take some time to kind of share with everybody on the call this morning, and those who are watching, thank you very much, that there have been some major changes with the stroke of President Biden's pen. And specifically on this, that is related to my expertise and what we do at Owen Insurance Group when it comes to health care, health insurance, and Medicare. So related to ACA, for those of you out there who either A, did not enroll in an Obamacare or an ACA plan during the last short open enrollment period that was reduced by 2 weeks by President Trump. So if you didn't have the chance to sign up, or if you don't have insurance, now is your opportunity. So I'll read to you the article I related to the signing of this law. Strengthening Medicaid and the Affordable Care Act. The executive order takes critical steps to reverse attacks on and strengthen Medicaid and the Affordable Care Act, so they can continue to provide access to life-saving care for millions of Americans. Based on this executive order, it is expected that the Department of Health and Human Services, or HHS, will open healthcare.gov for a special enrollment period. That will happen from February 15th, which is just a few days away, to May 15th. This special enrollment period will give Americans that need health care coverage during this global pandemic the opportunity to sign up. So it is good news, because I can tell you that over the past month and a half, we have gotten numerous calls of people wanting health care insurance, ACA, and they cannot qualify for it because we're outside of the open enrollment period. So pay attention. If you or anyone that you know is interested in getting comprehensive healthcare coverage, you need to give us a call. Call Owen Insurance Group at 772-210-1020. That's 772-210-1020. And we'll let one of our agents give you some information. Even if you just have questions, feel free to give us a call so we can get you some information. There was a lady that came into our office here last week on Friday, lost her employer healthcare coverage. One of my competitors wrote her an ACA plan, enrolled her, and she's a single mom with several children. And unfortunately, didn't ask the right questions and screwed up the whole situation with her children. And so now she had to cancel her health insurance, and she came to me almost in tears to help out. So we're thankful that President Biden has implemented this new SEP, because now we'll be able to help her and get her enrolled in the proper plan, the proper way, that will provide her a subsidy that will defray some of the cost of the premiums, which premiums are obviously very, very high. So it's important that you work with somebody that, has experience. Like you said, experience is important no matter what you do. Having that credibility and those relationships and taking care of the client is number one. Nothing else matters. Commissions don't matter. What matters number one is taking care of the client and always doing the right thing for the client 100% of the time. And I know that's how you do your business. That is how Maureen, and that is how we do our business. And based on your income, listen, I want you to know something, that there is a chart that we go by based on your income and how many members are in your family, from 1 member to 10 or whatever that number is. And there's a grid that shows us the income limitations if you qualify or if you do not qualify for a subsidy. That's number one. Number two is there are ways that you can reduce your income so you can qualify for a subsidy. But again, you have to call us. It's a comprehensive review, and it's a holistic approach that we have for our clients to make sure we do the right thing. So we're going to go to our second break, and when we come back, we're going to talk just a little bit more about that and how important it is to get it right. You're listening to the Quality of Life Radio Show. I'm your host, Gary Owen. You're listening to WSTU 1450 AM, America's Heritage Station, and WPSL 1590. And we will be right back. Hey, you listening to Gary Owen, the Quality of Life Radio Show. Welcome back. We are talking about the ACA. President Biden signed an executive order that will implement a new SEP, or a special election period or enrollment period, for Obamacare, ACA Affordable Care Act. So for those of you that are without health insurance, not a good idea. I call you people out there ostriches, because you have your head in the sand, and it's not a good place to be. It's important that you contact our office, 772-210-1020, and ask the right questions, and we will give you the answers that you need, and we'll enroll you in a plan that's beneficial for you. And there's all kinds of carriers now here on the Treasure Coast. There are new carriers. Oscar Health is new on the Treasure Coast for us. Also, Cigna is new on the Treasure Coast. We also have Ambetter that's here on the Treasure Coast. So you do have options. I'm not a fan. I'm not writing Florida Blue plans, but if you're looking for Florida Blue, then you might have to go to another agency or an agent. But if you're interested in saving money and getting a comprehensive health plan, I mean, listen, there are plans from some of these carriers that have a $0 deductible. You heard me right. $0 deductible. And depending on what your income is, your household income, you could qualify for 100% subsidy where you'd pay a zero premium or half of the subsidy, or whatever. There's a percentage of subsidy that you could earn based on what your income is above the federal poverty level. So it's important that, again, as I said before the show, before the break, that you got to get it right the first time, and you got to make sure that you're dealing with someone who has experience and who has your best interest at heart. So and somebody could mess you up pretty quickly. So contact us at Owen Insurance Group, and we'll provide you a quote. No obligation, no hassle. And again, you have until May 15th, from February 15th to May 15th, to select a plan and enroll. So give us a call and we'll help get you some information. Also, if you, like this one agent kind of messed up a client and got the children knocked on Medicaid, and that's not a good place. That's not where the client wanted her children. So again, just do the right thing for the client, and we'll ask you the right questions to make sure that things like that won't happen to you or your family. We will make sure that you have all the information that you need to be aware of. And listen, if maybe you might make too much money that to qualify for a subsidy, there are ways to reduce your taxes and your income that you could qualify for a subsidy. So again, give Owen Insurance Group a call, and we can enlighten you and help you on that path. We'll be your guide. We'll be your partner. I've been here for 34 years on the Treasure Coast. So it's important that we do the right thing. And also, I want to make mention of the fact that there are other health insurance plans out there as well. I know that the Biden administration has rescinded some of the executive orders from the previous administration related to short-term medical plans, but I kind of foresee that those 3-year plans, those plans that go up to 3 years, will probably be reduced down to what they originally were meant for, being short-term, meaning that it will be from 1 month to possibly 6 months. But anyway, time will tell, but I'm pretty confident that that's kind of what we're going to see related to the rescission on Trump's executive plan on short-term medical plans. So, but anyway, it is also a good opportunity to bridge you to the next open enrollment or on Medicare. So if you're 64 years of age and you don't have a health plan in place and you can't afford it, that's what these short-term medical plans are for. It's called a bridge to Medicare, and we can help provide you that information as well. So the next thing I want to share with everybody too is that beginning January 1 and ending March 31 is the Medicare Advantage open enrollment period. What does that mean? We just had Medicare open enrollment period, right?
Correct.
That was from December 7th, or from October 15th to December 7th. That's what everyone knows as Medicare open enrollment period. Well, true. Technically, it's called the Medicare AEP, or the Medicare annual election period. So what does now this period called the Medicare Advantage OEP, or open enrollment period, mean? Well, it means that if you are on, and this has nothing to do with original Medicare or if you're on a Medicare supplement plan. So if you're on, my advice is for those of you who, and that's unfortunate, but most people don't even know what they're on, but if you're on a Medicare supplement plan, you need to stay on that plan. There are agents that are trying to call consumers and get them to get off their supplement plan, enroll them in a $0 premium Medicare Advantage plan. Typically, it never is the right thing to do for the client, unless the client can no longer afford the premiums of the supplement. But there are other things that you can do to mitigate the cost of a supplement plan. You can reduce the plan. You can go to a lower type plan. If you're on a plan F, you could go to a plan G. If you're on a plan G, you could go on a plan N. If you're on a plan N, you could go on a high deductible plan F or G. So listen, it's important that you speak to the experts at Owen Insurance Group, where we can counsel you and advise you on what you should do or maybe what you should not do. So it's important that you work with a local agency. And again, as I said, been here for 34 years, and it's our passion, it's our mission to do the right thing. So on the open enrollment period, what can you do from January 1 to March 31st? Well, if you're on a Medicare Advantage plan, doesn't matter which plan, which carrier that it is, you can opt out of that plan, disenroll, and enroll in another Medicare Advantage plan. Maybe as you got into that plan, you found out that your doctors that you want are not in that plan, or perhaps the drug coverage that you're expecting. It's not covering the certain formulary that you need to have covered. So this is your opportunity. That's right. This is your opportunity that you can switch. It's a one-time opportunity. Right now we're in February. So if you switched in the month of February, your new Medicare Advantage plan would take effect March 1st. If you do this in March, then your new plan would take effect April 1st. And that's it. That's your last opportunity to get out of the plan that you're on now. If you're not happy with your Medicare Advantage plan, it's an opportunity to switch from that plan to another Medicare Advantage plan. Or perhaps you were one of the ones that got duped by a call center agent trying to get you out of your Medicare supplement, and you switch to an Advantage plan, and you no longer, you deem that it's not appropriate and you want to go back to a supplement. You can disenroll from that Advantage plan, go back to original Medicare, and then join a standalone prescription drug plan, and then also sign up for a supplement plan, a Medigap plan. But you have to answer underwriting unless you qualify for a trial right period. Yes, I know. All this sounds confusing, Maureen, doesn't it?
Absolutely.
Is your head spinning yet?
Yes.
My tongue almost got twisted there for a second. But it is confusing. It's convoluted. You call 800 Medicare, you ask them a question, and they're going to give you a certain answer. You call back that 800 Medicare number again, you get another person to answer the phone eventually, and you'll get another answer. So I think that it's important that you reach out to Owen Insurance Group. I am proud to say that I am certified in Medicare by AHIP, America's Health Insurance Plans. Additionally, I am also certified by the National Association of Health Underwriters in Medicare as well. So important things to ask, and I'll continue to talk and have that discussion about the open enrollment period. But kind of like you, I asked you, how do you pick the right agent, right? I mean, what separates you from your competition? So this is what you should be asking if your agent, how long have you been in the business? Are you Medicare certified? Have you had any claims against your E&O insurance, your errors and omission insurance? Have you ever had your insurance license suspended? And if so, why was it suspended? I mean, these are really, listen, these agents and these advisors have your life in your hands. And it's important that you work with the right advisor who is going to be looking out for your best interest and treating you with respect, dignity, and professionalism. So again, at Owen Insurance Group, we will do just that. We will provide you a quote. We can sit down in our conference room if you'd like. And we have masks available if you prefer that as well, to be masked up. And we will provide you a face-to-face consultation. We do not charge for our consultations. If you want to have a phone conference, we can schedule a phone conference with you. If you want one of our agents to come to your home, we will have agents come to your home. Whatever it is that you feel comfortable with is what we will do for you. But what you should not do, if you're not happy with your plan, you don't know what to do, you're confused, or maybe you're turning 65 and you're getting all these offers in the mail. Every day you're going to get something new in the mail. It's going to confuse you even more. Pick up the phone, dial 772-210-1020, and ask for a licensed agent to get you some information. Call Owen Insurance Group, and we will provide you, and we will bring clarity over confusion, because my God, I know how confusing it is. And listen, you're not going to have all the answers, and your next door neighbor isn't going to. So many times, Maureen, I ask, why did you enroll in this plan? They come to our office and I'm confused. I'm confounded why they would enroll in this specific plan. They said, my neighbor said that's what they have, and that's why they enrolled in that plan. Bad choice. Mm-hmm. Do not, just because your spouse, your neighbor, your friend, or a family member is on a certain plan, may not be suitable for you. There's so many things that we have to go through and make sure that your doctors, if you're interested in enrolling in a Medicare Advantage plan. If it's a supplement plan, it's a lot different, whole different game. But if you're specifically needing to be on a Medicare Advantage plan, then you need to make sure that you have your doctors correct. Make sure that all the doctors are on the plan. And typically, we don't see, very rarely do we see all the doctors that you want to be on one specific plan. So that's an important feature. Second thing is, you also have to get the formulary right, the prescription drugs. So we know that, we got clients coming here, we have a Medicare intake form, and we have you put in your doctor's information and all your prescription drug information. So is it a brand? Is it a name? Is it a name brand? Or is it a generic? What's the strength? How many times a day do you take it? Then we take that, we put it into the Medicare system, and we find out which plan, based on the formulary, is the best plan for you. It's a lot of work. It's time consuming on our end to get it right. So I can tell you that you're not going to get it right by going to your friends or your neighbors and base your decision on what they have. So also, if you decide that you want to go back to original Medicare, you can go without a drug plan or with a drug plan. And, when clients come to our office, they're turning 65 and they say, Gary, I'm healthy as a horse. I take 0 prescription drug plans. The first thing I say to them is, congratulations, you're in a better spot than I am. Good job. Number 2, I like to see your crystal ball. And they look at me with a strange look and like, yeah, obviously you must have a crystal ball that says that you're not going to require prescription drugs over the next 12 months. Because if you don't take a drug plan when you first enroll, 2 things happen. Number 1, you are going to have and be exposed to a penalty. The Part D penalty is 1% per month of the National Drug Part D premium. Number 1. Number 2, what happens 3 months down the road? You say, Gary, I'm going to opt out of a Part D plan and I'm healthy and I don't need it. 3 months down the road, something happens to your health, and now you need a tier 3 or a tier 4 or a specialty tier 5 drug that costs tens of thousands of dollars or thousands of dollars if you don't have a drug plan. So for as little as typically $8 to $15 a month, can get you a drug plan. So don't cheap out on that. It's very important that you have a drug plan in place. And also remember that when you do the drug plan, let's say that, you decide this is the month of February, you're going to go back to original Medicare, then you can sign up for a drug plan that's effective March 1st. If you decide to enroll the month of March, your effective date will be April 1st. And there are many types of Medicare supplement carriers out there, as well as there are Medicare Advantage carriers. So you do not base a plan or a carrier on premium. You just don't base it on premium. So many people will make a decision to buy a Medicare supplement plan based on who has the lowest premium, Maureen. And then they find out next year, that carrier raises their rates 10%. Whereas had they gone with another carrier who's been around since Medicare began, their rates a little higher typically than most others, but their average rate stability is better than any other carrier out there in the country. So you base your decision on not on who has the cheapest rates, but who has, number one, the best rate stability out there, financial stability, what their AM Best rating is. These are important, and their claims paying ability. So these are important features that your licensed insurance agent and advisor should know. And also, more importantly, is the fact that when you choose an agent, choose the experts at Owen Insurance Group, because every one of us are independent agents. Like Maureen is an independent realtor. It's important to be an independent agent because then we can represent all the carriers out there and not just one carrier. And then if they're just representing that one carrier, they're going to try to push that one plan on you, which may not be in your best interest. So it's truly important to understand and be confident in your Medicare coverage choices, because we know there's a lot of choices out there, a lot of plans out there. And right now is your opportunity. For those of you that are under 65, you have the opportunity to enroll in an ACA health plan from February 15th on new SEP, from February 15th to May 15th. And then the Medicare Advantage open enrollment period is coming up. It is here now from January 1 to March 31. So you do have chances. You do have options. Do not be an ostrich. Do not keep your head buried in the sand. All right. Next week, we're going to have another special guest on our show who's part of our executive club of Martin County. That is Doug Banks with JLB Home Inspections. And he will join both Tom and I. And also we'll talk to you about some more important insurance planning. And we certainly thank you for joining us on this beautiful, chilly morning, Maureen. Hope you had a good time.
I did, Gary, and thank you very much for inviting me.
All right, thank you so much. And
you made it easy.
We do our best, Maureen, and we thank you. We hope you enjoyed the show. Please share us with your friends, your family, your neighbors, and remember, folks, stay safe, keep healthy, be happy, and enjoy your quality of life.